But first, big shock. That bad orange man, Donald Trump. The ABC is upset today because the US president wants Australia's help to find out just who started those 2 years of fake news that he colluded with Russia to steal the election.
To major developments in the United States, a White House source has confirmed to the ABC that President Donald Trump asked the Prime Minister Scott Morrison to help with the US investigation into the origins of the Mueller report. The Mueller investigation into Russian meddling during the 2016 presidential election was sparked in part by Alexander Downer, who was the then Australian High Commissioner to the UK. He reported that a Trump campaign member was aware of Russian attempts to discredit Hillary Clinton.
OK, let's get some perspective here. That meeting is indeed what Trump is very interested in. How did it happen? And why? Alexander Downer, our High Commissioner in London back then, met a low-level foreign affairs advisor on the Trump campaign, George Papadopoulos, who told him something that Downer thought was very interesting, that the rival campaign of Democrat Hillary Clinton could soon get a nasty shock.
There was no suggestion that there was collusion between Donald Trump or Donald Trump's campaign and the Russians. All we did was report what Papadopoulos said, and that was that he thought the Russians might release information that could be damaging to Hillary Clinton's campaign at some stage before the election.
In fact, Alexander Downer thought that was so interesting that he sent it back in a cable to the Turnbull government, which then decided to pass it on to America's FBI, decided to meddle in US politics. Well, the FBI then leaked, started its own investigation, and bang, from that we got 2 years of this hysterical fake news that Donald Trump actually worked with Russia to steal the election, that he actually knew that Russian hackers had got into the computers of Hillary Clinton's campaign and were going to dump a lot of embarrassing information, which they did. Now, Trump colluding with Russia was fake news that the ABC repeated endlessly, including in a 3-part series on Four Corners that even suggested that Trump was not just treasonous, but possibly blackmailed.
Tonight, we begin our special 3-part investigation into the story of the century, the election of US President Donald Trump and his ties to Russia.
The stock and trade of Russian tradecraft is compromising material of some sort.
Trump not only defied political convention, he flirted with notions of treason.
Now, that story of the century has since been debunked, of course. A special investigator, former FBI boss Robert Mueller, found no evidence that Trump conspired with Russia. The whole thing was stupid. But the damage done to Trump was huge and involved leaks from the FBI, leaks from the State Department, all clearly meant to destabilise him and even to get him replaced.
There was no collusion with Russia, the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard. This was an illegal takedown that failed. And hopefully somebody's going to be looking at the other side.
And now somebody is looking into it. That's Trump's Attorney General, William Barr. And now the Morrison government has said, through our ambassador, Joe Hockey, that it will cooperate with Barr's investigation. Although the Prime Minister today denied he'd talked about this request with Trump in their meetings last month.
Well, I'm not going to go into private conversations, but these were not issues that were there for discussion.
The Prime Minister needs to explain to the Australian people exactly what happened here.
Now, I can't see what all this fuss is about. Australia cooperated with President Barack Obama, no trouble there. We cooperated by passing on information damaging to Trump. Why shouldn't Australia now cooperate with President Trump's administration by explaining how we got involved? Now, Trump's team is particularly interested in two things. Why did our High Commissioner in London take time out to meet some low-level member of Trump's team, back when Trump was just a candidate and seemed sure to lose the election? And Papadopoulos is now wondering too.
This meeting took place after 3 intermediaries helped organize it from 3 different countries and 3 different intelligence organizations. I do not know what Alexander Downer's purpose was in reaching out to me.
And the other question, who put the idea in Papadopoulos' head that Russia did have information on Clinton and possibly set Papadopoulos up to blab to Downer and seem part of a conspiracy? The FBI could then, well, they had a pretext for starting their investigation. Was it Joseph Mifsud, an American academic, then in Britain and with links to Russia? Investigator Robert Mueller didn't seem keen to confirm Mifsud's role when questioned in a congressional hearing this year.
What I'm wondering is, who told Papadopoulos? How'd he find out?
I can't get into the evidentiary filing.
Yes, you can, because you wrote about it. You gave us the answer. Page 192 of the report, you tell us who told him. Joseph Mifsud. Joseph Mifsud's the guy who told Papadopoulos.
You didn't see Mueller in that footage, but he was the one being questioned, gave the answer. But this is the heart of the case. How did this fake news that Trump colluded with Russia actually start? Who started what amounts to an attempted soft coup against an elected president? And for us, there's this question. Was Alexander Downer asked or manipulated into that meeting that helped to kick the whole thing along? Now, Downer didn't want to get into details today, but 4 months ago on this show denied that the FBI had got him to talk to Papadopoulos.
Somebody who is a former foreign minister and the Australian High Commissioner or ambassador in London is hardly going to be somebody who is used by intelligence services to collect information. That would never happen.
I agree. These conspiracy theories do sound as wildly improbable as, I don't know, Trump colluding with Russia. But don't you think this at least needs to be looked at? And since we helped to start the fake news, why shouldn't we help Trump to end it?